Hi, it's Avalon here from Blossoming Woman, and welcome to my third video in a series of videos I've made for mothers about my new vision for mothers. This video is about turning conflict into connection. So how do you turn conflict into connection? Well, essentially it's about a whole paradigm shift, going out of the old ways of being of scarcity and lack and into the new ways where there's abundance and creativity. So the old model is basically the way most of us have been raised in our culture, and it's a domination model where there's winners and losers, there's compromise, there's scarcity, there's not enough to go around, and in that space we're really worried that our needs are not going to be met. And in that we can also get really stuck in what we already know. So say if the conflict arises, we may think there's two options. It's either going to be A or B, and that's it. And often we're quite righteous in that because we can see how it needs to be and we're not flexed or fluid, and basically we're stuck. So the new ways of being are more about collaboration and partnership. And it's actually becoming more open to solutions. Rather than being stuck and thinking it needs to be a certain way, we can actually start to trust in the abundance of the universe. And that when we become more connected and open, then we can actually receive more creative solutions. And in fact, we can access more of our brain when we're feeling more relaxed. We can connect in our heart and we can actually be guided from that place. And we can consider the needs and feelings of everyone involved and trust that from that space, more creative solutions can arise. And this is also about opening to the unknown. So rather than staying within what we already know, we can actually say, okay, well, I don't know what's going to happen, but I trust that somehow if we're all communicating and sharing what's important, then somehow an unknown solution may arise from that. So conflict can be inside us, like if we're feeling torn, or if we're in turmoil or indecisive, or if we're feeling bad about something or hard on ourselves, blaming ourselves for something. That's actually quite disconnecting, and it's really hard to connect with others when we're in that state. And when conflict involves other people, it may be disagreements or misunderstandings or some sort of tension between people. And when that happens, if we're feeling really righteous and we think that things should be a certain way, then we can get stuck in that too. So how do you turn conflict into connection? Well, the first step is awareness. So it's having awareness that conflict is present in that moment. Rather than really losing yourself inside the conflict, you can actually stop and go, oh, and there's a conflict happening. It's either within yourself or with another person. And in that space, then you can check in with yourself. What are you needing? How are you feeling? What are you really needing? And have an acceptance of how you're feeling. Because often in a conflicting situation, you might feel resistance within yourself and think that you shouldn't be feeling a certain way. So the first key is to really accept how you're feeling, because when you're resisting it and you're thinking something should be different to how it is, and you can get locked into things being a certain way, then there's no space for solutions to arise in that space. And when it's involving another person, you can also check in with, well, what's the other person feeling and what are they needing? Now, this is where we can come unstuck, because if we're locked into a scarcity model of fearing that our needs won't be met, then we don't actually care what the other person's needing in that moment, because if we're considering their needs, then that means that our needs don't matter. So see how we can get locked into this downward spiral of us against them. And when we get stuck in that, then when we're worried that there's not enough or our needs won't be met, that's when we can resort to old tactics like trying to dominate the other, or maybe we give up and just abandon ourselves in the conflict, or else we might try and manipulate the situation, maybe figure out some strategies that we think will work. But when it's coming from a fear of lack, then it's just not going to be a more of a creative solution that's going to be meeting everyone's needs. So when conflict arises, if you can be open to a solution dropping in, even if you don't know what that solution is, the key is just to being open and trusting that there's something that you haven't thought of yet that can come into play, especially when you keep communication open, and you're open to listening and hearing the other person, and you're open to expressing what's really important for you, then you can start to come into a place of trust to receive the creative solutions that may drop in. But if you're stuck, you won't find the solutions that you really need. Would you like to understand more about this and be supported and inspired to awaken and learn how to live these new ways of being in your life? I invite you to join me in my 4-week online program called Wild Mama, Living the New Vision. This course is about reclaiming yourself and expressing yourself authentically within your life. Because we are role models for the next generation, and our children are so open and receptive. They're learning from us all the time. So if we can start to live these new ways of being, then naturally they will learn these new ways to be more loving and compassionate, and this is exactly what the world is needing right now. So week 1 is about connection. So it's about you connecting with yourself and connecting with other people. And in the first week, you'll have the opportunity to align with your unique vision for your life and get clear about your values and your priorities. And it's also about coming into deeper connection with the earth and the universe so that you can come into more trust and be guided by your heart in your life. Week 2 is about communication. So in that, it's about learning to express yourself authentically, with respect and compassion for others as well. And it's about learning to ask for what you want and also bringing a richer quality of presence to the relationships you have with all the people around you too. Week 3 is about conflict resolution. And that week you'll learn tools, especially for when you're in the heat of the moment, how to connect with yourself and deal with things in a more loving and connected way, so that you can break the cycle of old patterns that we've inherited growing up and learn how to approach things in a much more creative and compassionate way. And week 4 is about finding creative solutions. It's about bringing more lightness and playfulness into your family so that you can say yes more often, and you can trust that your needs and the needs of people around you can be met when you can open up to this abundant way of being in the world and open up that creativity. So you'll learn how to do that in week 4. And all these parts work together to create a really holistic approach to having more harmony and love and connection in your family. This course is affordable so that you can join me and a community of sisters all journeying together. And it's also delivered in a way that's really easy for you to do within your busy family life. So you can read more about it on my website, which is the Wild Mama page. It's avalondarnesh.com/wildmama, and it's easy to find it on my website once you're there. The course starts on the 9th of September and registrations are open now. And as soon as you register, you can connect with me in a safe and confidential community of women. And also feel free to email me if you have any questions that you want to ask about the course beforehand, or anything that you would love to see covered, because I'm here for you and we're journeying together. This course is more than just learning skills. This is actually about supporting each other, because you know, we can learn things, but if we don't have support and a community to keep it alive, then often those new things can just get thrown out the window in a place when you're feeling stressed. So what I'm creating is a tribe, a community of women who are all living this new vision together. So I'd love you to join me. So hop onto my website, avalondarnesh.com, and you can register for the course, and I'd love to share this journey with you.